By viewer request, we are back in the colonies here in Creeper World 4. Beat the Lanes by Not a Pro Gamer. How fast can you activate all 18 totems in this easy but time-consuming map? Yes, there are 18 totems. No doubt someone will do it in half my time. What kind of time are we talking about? I don't know how long it took them, but I can say by looking through the log here, there's lots of times, even a couple hours or more, an hour and a half, hour 45, not uncommon at all. And if we, I've only seen one actually that's less than an hour. Somewhere down here. There it is. 39 minutes and change by Bullwhack. And I think that is a legit time. It's just somebody who really took seriously trying to go low. You see the one there over 4 hours. So how long will it take us, I wonder? So what are we dealing with here? Okay, so we have 200 deep creeper on all of these lanes. Each of the 18 lanes having a totem. Then we have this tiny little square to start with. Now, each of these totems requires 100 liftic. There is green R here and green R here, but as you can see, like, we're not going to get that much green R out of these because of these narrow lanes. A lot of the green R's area where it could produce crystals is not even going to, have any land to produce the crystals on. And of course, they're as far away from it as possible to get in terms of the lanes. Now, every other lane has resource terrain, which helps us. But we've got to start out and fight through all this mess from this tiny little corner. No additional enemies, no additional creeper generation, but a speed test. How quickly can you ram through this? And should you even ram through it? A minimalist starting build is, of course, mandated with limited terrain. We can build a few towers, though. And then the urn portal. So we're going to want to collect energy, and then the other one is fire rate. Fewer weapons with more firepower means spending less energy to build the weapons, getting going a little bit more quickly. And the urns are coming at us from completely across the map on the opposite diagonal. Notice that we have Soylent collecting energy from underneath the creeper here because of how close we are to the gap. Don't ask me how that works metaphysically, but it does, in fact, work. And as we build up our first cannon here, on this map I'm going to be aiming more at optimizing and going for a good time than I normally would. It's usually not a big concern of mine, but it seems to me to be a better way to present this, since, actual winning and defeating the enemy is not a challenge on this map. You could build one weapon and do it if you had sufficient patience. So what I'm doing here is I waited for the ammo in this cannon to get high enough so that it can continuously fire while this second cannon builds. We will notice that this will get low, but it will actually not completely run out here. And why am I building cannons at all? Why not mortars? Well, that certainly was my first inclination. But it actually happens that a lot of mortar firepower will get wasted here, and cannons are therefore more efficient in this case. Mortars do 25% more damage than cannons if both weapons are going to, hit for full damage on every shot. But the mortar will only hit for full damage here if it's almost exactly in the middle of the lane. If it's towards the edge, it'll lose some due to the blast radius, and if it's all the way on the edge itself, it'll lose about half, and that's nowhere near as big of a problem for the cannons. And so it just works out better that way. So it's sort of counterintuitive, but it does make sense. And we are going to stick with cannons here, and then also speed up. I'll also be doing some, cuts later on. Just the start of this is pretty tedious. I think they would have been a lot better off with less creeper, but it is what it is. Looking pretty stable up here at the top, but we are very gradually chopping out bits out of this. We're also producing a little bit more energy than we take in, or rather than we are using. So we will be able to shortly here turn on this third cannon. I'm waiting for this deficit to go away because that happens to be the right point at which to do this. There we go. And so now That will allow, again, this one's going to be able to build before these two cannons run out of ammunition. You can see we're 4 minutes in, and you know this pilot creeper was 200 deep, and now it's still over 100 deep. So, you know, we're taking a while here. This is not going to be a quick romp, especially at the beginning. It will speed up considerably later on in the mission. Closer to clearing it out now, we can see, you know, the waves much more violent as we're much closer to the bottom. Compression is not as much of an issue. And now we're starting to see little bits of terrain. We're going to slow it down and get ready to move in to this first lane. I think right about there should be good. Of course, it's always a judgment call, you know, when can you move in versus actually getting destroyed by the creeper if you do so. I'm going to slide you over here. And you're going to come this way. And now we're ready to start putting down some more towers to expand our energy. I like to use the overhead view for this. And I think I want to move you over this way a little bit. Get this one in. We're going to turn some of these off now because I don't want them sucking up any more energy than is necessary. I'm going to put you just a little bit more over. I'm just waiting to be able to build one more additional tower. And I actually think I want to slide you over just a bit. There we go. That's the last one. And notice how they connect to the totem. You know, these corner ones connect to the totem on the next lane. That's not important at the moment, but it will become important later on. Okay, so we just need to get these towers up. And now we're going to turn on our cannons again. Let's take a look at the ammunition here first. Make sure it's reasonably even. Okay, that's decently even. So we need to wait for... We're going to build a fourth cannon, but I have to wait for this ammunition to get up a little bit higher before we can afford to build it. And just like we had with the two cannons and wanting to build a third in this first section, we are producing more energy than we need, but not by much. Alright, that should be good. We'll lay you down here. And then once again, we're going to be off to the races. Because with 4 cannons and a larger area, this is going to take nearly as long to knock down as the first one. Not quite as long, but close. However, we are going to be able to get resource terrain once we're in here. So pushing into this second lane is the point at which we can really begin to see significant acceleration in our progress. The second lane now is getting worn down. Almost time for us to claim the resource terrain. But with each cannon getting not quite full ammo, you do have to be careful about jumping in too quickly. I think that should be about right. Of course, it's much deeper over there, so we'll wait longer. Taking significant damage here, but we're going to survive it. All right, let's move you along. Then get a couple more towers up in position. And not quite ready over here yet, but close. That should be good. Yeah, don't be shooting over there. We can turn you off now. We should be able to finish up the rest of this here. Inch you forward a bit more. That'll result in, of course, more energy going to the remaining cannons. Same with you. Looks like we just have the one left. Let's go ahead and throw up some more of these towers. So now that all of that is in position, I do want to, of course, finish off the ones here in the corner, etc. But then I want to put up some miners and let the priority build take over here. Now, I can't fit these in, like, optimally. You can't use all of the terrain, because if you go this way, it's not going to fit. Then this side, you leave that little sliver. So I'm going to do one inside track, essentially, on the miners. And that's all I'm going to be able to get for now, because I need cannons on the outside. To fire into this lane. So I'm also going to want to set up more of those as the miners, as the miners build. I actually don't want to actually be feeding these just yet, though. I just want to get them in place. And then we'll just shut them all off. There we go. Then when I do eventually get energy up, I will turn on the cannons that we have built that actually have ammunition. They'll start firing first. But at the moment, it's just going to take some time to get some of these miners up. Boost our energy supply. We'll have a much larger attack now going into this second lane. Or third lane, actually, now. There we go. And energy continuing to come up. So now I'm going to throw a bunch more of these on. And of course now it's just a game of how many can we turn on without going into deficit to do it. Until the last miner comes up, we're not really going to be full, but we are increasing. Let's add in a couple more. And then I'll add a couple more after that. I want to stagger them a bit because they're going to be requesting a bunch of ammo once they get built. Most of them are up. Alright, then I'm going to turn on these last four. Now we are going to go into deficit some, that's unavoidable. We've got a decent number of cannons here to where we can sustain a deficit and still have them, you know, firing non-stop. And then we just wait for them to plow down this wall of creeper, which will happen much more quickly now. Rather impressive barrage compared to what we were doing earlier. And it melts, and it melts. Okay, now we're starting to get serious here. Let's get it down a little bit more. Okay. Now at this point, I want to move some of them across. So I think I will do... something like this. There we go. And the rest, at this point, can just kind of go away. I don't want them to continue shooting. I want them to get out of the way so I can build more miners. So, I'm going to shut you off. Pull you back. There we go. Then we'll gradually do the same with these. Add in our towers. Appears to be going reasonably well. You can probably withdraw now. As well as you. And you. I don't much care where they go at the moment. I just want them out of the way. And not soaking up any more energy, more importantly. Just about completed. Didn't actually get you turned off. Whoops, you're not quite close enough to hit what I want you to hit. So you're going to move over there, get that. You're going to withdraw. So now we've just got to clean off this last little sliver. There it is. So, 20.5 minutes. We have cleared out the first 3 lanes, and now we need to take this attack to the air. The cannons aren't completely done, but their major purpose in this operation has now been completed. Runways are now in position, and we've got bombers up along one side of each of those, but of course there is no second side due to how narrow the lanes are. We've got some porters that have started building, and of course the cannons are still there. But right now, it's all about the bombers. First launch of the bombers, it's going to be the main weapon, definitely, that we use for the rest of this mission. Very important that we have split these into 2 squads, pretty basic strategy, heading down each way. But you have to put the targeting right in the middle of the lane. And even sometimes they will still get a little bit off by doing that. They'll maximize your damage, as you can see, you know, the wide explosions that they put out. Now, we are still going to be able to use the cannons some. We have to get all of our refilling done with the bombers here first, so we're waiting for the energy to come back. There we go. Cannons on. Melt this down as much as you can as we have The bomber's landing now, and okay, now they need the energy again. So we'll shut off the cannons. And let's see how we're doing. Yeah, we've got the majority of the creeper in this lane has been dealt with. We just got to finish it off now. Cannons, get back to it. And now it's melting. So, time to set up another wonderful lane with a bunch of mortars, or miners rather. But this time we also should have enough energy out there to continue getting assistance from the cannons. Well, continuing on out now to the 5th lane. We have most of our miners up in place, but also cannons with them, ready to attack when we get the energy for them. And, you know, at the moment, actually we can turn them on now. There we go. We will encounter somewhat of a deficit, but we've got enough energy here to fuel everything. We're going to, you know, be able to refill the bomber pads and not run out of ammo in the cannons. They'll get low, but they won't get out. And after we get through this one, I need more air power, basically, here. I want to grab another resource lane to then grab more energy. Because 22 bombers is nice for in there, but out in these larger amounts, we're just going to need more. Just more firepower. Bigger air force. And there's really no other way to do that but grab more territory for it, because we don't have anywhere else to put it at the moment. Alright, we're going to turn on these porters, finish those up. But this is all melting over here. There we go. It's time to move in and get built. Now, most of the terrain in this lane is going to be taken up by runway and bombers. So we're actually only going to have 3 places that we can even put cannons. So I'm going to move those out to here. This looks dangerous over here. It's like, you know, a dozen creeper deep. But with all the bombers flying around, they'll make that go away pretty quickly. Let's keep sliding our towers out. Energy's still looking great. A little bit more. And I think most of these cannons, it's time for them to get shut off. I do think some of these over here might have a little bit more use in pounding out this blob. Then, of course, all of you just need to kind of go away. Along with all of these, because we need to put miners where they are. Which we can't do while they're sitting there. There we go. And we need to keep throwing up the towers as we expand. Just need these little bits to decide that they're going to evaporate. And right there. And here. Looking good over here. I think it's time for us to shift now our bombers. Because, yes, all of that is in position. Oops, wrong side. Starting on the wrong end. You can head this way. And now we need to get our runways up in position. I'm going to wait a bit for that to melt over there. Let's just let that go. There we go. Okay. So the way this is going to work is I can only put a bomber on each end. I've got to put these, you know, the runways end to end, because otherwise they won't be any room, unfortunately, for everything that we would like to do. So you actually got put in the wrong place. Same thing here. There we go. And it looks like I'm actually, if I slide this in here, one on each end, and then we just need to run them along the side. So another 10 for each airstrip on this level, this lane, or another 40 total for 62 bombers. That should help quite a bit. Now, I will off-screen this part, but there's going to be quite a bit of fiddliness going on here, because basically I have to make sure we don't get all of the bombers done while, you know, the runways are still struggling for energy. So I'm going to have to be, you know, turn on and off the energy and supply to some of these bombers while the runways are building, but try to roughly synchronize when they're done. And then they can just join in the attack here. And we will have quite the Air Force when that's completed. The runways are now operational, and soon we'll start, there we go, getting bombers to launch. The synchronization wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. And now we're just melting this resource lane. Of course, we have lots of deficit here, but that's to be expected until we get our final bunch of miners up. In the meantime, just bomb, bomb, bomb away. All of the aircraft doing work. Let's see about getting everything up and running here. Let's let this run a bit more. Getting cleared out pretty well here. For some reason I'm not seeing clearly. Yeah, I'll come back to that one. And we can put some miners up now. Fill in the rest in a bit. This just needs a little more pounding. There it goes. Well, those last couple of bombers really took care of it. And that should set us up. So, it's now time to send ourselves all the way over here and get the green R at long last. So I want to grab a decent section of this lane. Not by any means the whole thing, not even quite half. Just a decent part of it. And same thing over here. And of course my goal is just to clear off enough that we can start to set up operations. This will take a little bit of time. Away you go. Now we're going to send a couple porters over there. And they're going to begin the setup process as well. But meanwhile, I am going to pull the fire rate and go with mine production so that we're producing as much green R as we can. Now that we're going to be able to come over here and get it. Eventually. It will take a bit of doing by these bombers, you know, some trips. But, I mean, look at our energy already. It's fixed itself. So we're feeling very good about that. Just need to keep pounding away. And our porters are in place. But, of course, there's still lots of fun to be had before they can come over here and do anything. Still over 4 million creeper on the map, and we're pushing half an hour now. But soon the harvesting will begin. Okay, now we're looking promising. What's it look like on the other side? Looking pretty good over here as well. We can't quite build yet, I don't think, but we're close. Huh. Probably can now. Alright, so we're going to release the energy. And that's why I took that last resource lane, because I was going to need that urn. I want to throw this refinery down here so that we can put the urn in it. And it'll completely maximize all this. I also want to put the factory over here. If we don't have to transport what we produce, at least from this area, then it will work out much better for us. So I do want that factory off for now, though, because I want to make sure I get this built first. Get the refinery built first. And then, of course, we're going to want a refinery over here as well. Be very cautious what I do with the bombers, because they don't have a lot of room here for air. But I think that we're in place well enough. And again, I will put a porter on this side, not the factory. I only have one of those. And you're going to go green R. Okay. So I do need to push this out a little bit more. I'm going to gradually extend now the area that I'm hitting. I want to eventually get the whole lane. But can't do all that immediately, so we'll start here, and we'll push out to say there. Ah! The mouse and I are not in agreement. And we did extend it further over this way as well. So I am going to... Nope, not you. I'm going to activate the factory. I just want to make sure that all of this is working. I want to get all these connections in place. I am going to need a porter over here, because you're going to haul Liftic when we get it back. And then over here, you are going to haul your green R over this way. Okay, we're melting this reasonably well. I want to extend some, but I don't think too far. And then same thing over here. Well, would have appreciated it if you didn't do that. There we are. Push out a little bit further. Clear this lane. This biggest lane of creeper on the entire map. Get it out of here. They're eating it pretty well. Everything seems to be working over here. Away goes the Liftic. We have to make sure that we don't oversupply back here if we can avoid it, but that's the least of my concerns at the moment. Okay. Yeah, we've pushed this back. It's time to end it. Time to just get all the way down to the end of the lane if we can. And then we can move on. Pounding it very effectively. Just want to make sure it all goes away. I also want to begin expanding here with some pylons. Whoops, I think that... Did I put you... Yeah, I put you one spot too far, didn't I? Outstanding. I eventually want to connect up. To the totem on this lane. Okay, this part's done. This is basically done. Okay, get out of here. You have done your work. This little bit here... You know what? Keep going after this, I guess, for a minute. But on this side... Come on. Alright, fine. Let's click one of the bombers themselves, since you don't want to give me the crosshairs. I want to uncover this green R. Is my goal over here. But actually, let's just go after the whole lane. Because that'll be the quicker way of killing it. I'm not sure which way is, precisely more efficient. But that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's low enough. That should just bleed away into nothing. And then you do the same thing. Up this lane. Oh, that's off. Okay. Would like to free up this little bit of green R here. That most of it's on the bigger lane, but there is some that's going to be available at the ends of this one. Let's make that go away. Then let's pile on the rest of the way here. Since this is all the way clear. There we go. And then we just need this to evaporate a little bit more, and we'll come through that way. But of course here, the connecting up will be very nice as well. So it's kind of a race at this point. Will we harvest the greenar faster? Will we, you know, knock out the creeper faster? Like, which side of that is going to be superior? 0.02, 0.01. We just cannot get the last of this to evaporate. It will. I could have brought cannons over here to make it happen faster, I suppose. But I think we'll be in position. How are we doing on Liftic down here? Okay, still need some more. Probably not a lot more, but some more. And perhaps we can bridge this now. See if it'll give me that. Looks like it will. Meanwhile, the bombers continue their work on this lane, but there is more yet to be done. So, 25. That one needs 100, and we actually never connected up to this corner. So we do need a few more loads of Liftic over here. But it won't be too much longer until I want to shut that off. And I do want to bring some of these cannons across this way. It'll take them a long time to get there, but I want to use them to clear out some paths as we work our way back in. When the landing areas get down to, you know, just a small amount of creeper, they will be very beneficial. Okay, we've cleared out this now. And then over here, you are just not hitting in the center of that lane like you're supposed to. You're just not doing it. Why aren't you? This is one of the things that annoys me about what the bombers decide to do sometimes. Okay, so now you're filling up these totems. And we're taking all the Liftic we can right now. So right now, like, there's nothing that is getting in our way there. Just waiting for this part to cleanse itself, which it almost has. You know what? I'm going to call that good. We're going to move on to the next lane. So, let's top down. And now we can just do the every third thing. So we're going to move into this one. And each one we cleanse from now on is going to take less time than the one before it. You can cross over here. And we should also just set up a couple towers so that we make sure we're connecting up to this. Okay, now, these are all done. Okay, so we definitely want to cancel that route. They finished this up a little faster than I thought, but this one isn't finished. That one needs 50. And where is our... I gotta be able to see this better. Okay, where are you moving? Okay, you're taking off to get more, and there's 47 here. Okay, I think you're filling this one, and I don't want you to come back. That's what I think is going on here. Let's cancel the route for now. And I'm not ready with a new one for you because this is just connected straight up. So let's just save our liftic there. And let's make sure this actually finishes off this totem. So I think we caught this just in time. This box will empty. And this will be our 9th totem. So we're halfway there on the official objective list. Just waiting for it all to come out there. And we're doing a good job pounding down all of this. Yes, indeed, that's 9. And you're adding up. There's not a whole lot saved up in the factory. And now these bombers are trying to get down to this one. And, well, they've knocked out quite a bit of the creeper in this area, but there's a lot more to go. This next wave should really clear it out. I'm gonna, once we get energy back, I'm gonna build another porter just in case we need it. Just in case we need more energy. Okay. Yeah, there's not much left here. Let's go ahead and hop a couple of these cannons right in there. This is what I want them for. Turn them on and just set them pretty much right on top of that. Let's get a couple energy porters ready to go. Then we can deliver the liftic as soon as we're sure the coast is clear. Okay. Yep, we should be done here. Yeah, let's not keep doing any more attack runs this direction. Let's move in. So, 2 more lanes for the bombers to clear. Here's one of them. And Mr. Liftic, I don't see any reason why I can't pop you down there. I think these cannons will take care of business if it needs to be, if that even gets close enough. So let's turn them off. Let's set up a tower on each corner so that we're connected. Nope, I want you off. Only turn you on if we need you. Liftic, you get in there. And we're filling up all the totems there. This lane is going down. And that liftic has been emptied. We need to bring some more. This is still creeping this way. I don't know if it'll evaporate in time or not. But either way, we are approaching the end. Yeah, that's just stopping. That's not going to be a problem. And you are set here. Very nice. Now I don't think we're delivering the liftic as fast as we could be. So I wonder if I just need another porter. If I put up another liftic porter, I'm not sure this is a good idea, but I'm going to do it. You build, and then you're going to come over this way. And then our 2 energy porters. You're going to come down here. What kind of depth do we have? Not a lot. Cannons, you are not going to be needed here. So let's hop you over this way. See how long it takes you to get there. Now you have 44 liftic left. Yeah, you've got more deliveries to make before this is finalized. So you keep on doing your thing. It might just be a delivery issue we have, like we just can't deliver it possibly fast enough. Tower up here. And here. Okay, and this liftic is going out. See, 31. Okay, so we need one more delivery there. One more delivery there, and we're set. And I never retargeted my bombers. Well, let's make that happen. Go to the final one. The final lane that you need to clear. Get that done. Why are you stopping? There we go. And now your next one, where do I want you to go? This one has... Yeah. Let's go ahead and switch your route then to here. So have both of them going there. And speed up this process if we can. Bingo. Those are all up. And we're now pretty much using all the liftic again, so that's not a problem. It's just a case of how much can we get to the site. Okay, now where are we at? 34, 32. Okay, they need 100, and you just dropped that one and you're dropping another one. Okay. So these are our last couple of deliveries. Here. We're going to cancel your route. Cancel both routes for now. Then we need to get it here where we really aren't quite ready for it yet. Oh, we're close. Okay, so cannons. You weren't needed in these two spots. You might be needed here. Stop fighting me, please. Just hop over here. And let's send in our energy porters. Because I think we're almost ready with the bombers. So this really should time out fairly well. It's just a question of when can I send in the lifting? Yeah, and I think I can do that now. Both of you deliver everything you can find right here. And it's time for our final success. What? No, wrong spot. Over here. Yep, these are up. So this is the end of it. And we've just got 2 to fill, which means one more lipstick delivery. And they're pulling it out this way. The bombers are just sort of, you know, in a holding pattern. They have nothing left that needs done. We left almost half the creeper on the map intact. And am I actually... Yeah, I'm connected, but I could stand to have a tower in here. And there it goes. Success! So, that was beat the lanes. Ignoring half the lanes, but, you know, it still worked. So what could we have done better? Well, I think we could have, you know, probably maybe redirected the bombers a little sooner to get the crystals here. I think it was probably down to just maybe having a slightly more efficient setup for the liftic in terms of getting it a little bit quicker. But overall, I'm quite happy with that. 44 minutes and change. There we go. And this was a trial run I did that wasn't quite as fast. So, what did you think of this map? Do you like the more, you know, optimization style, or would you prefer, you know, the more continuous flow? Let me know about that. And next week, I'm probably going to have another tips video, but I'm also going to do another map, probably from the requested list. So if you're interested in putting those down, always throw those down in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Creeper World 4 will return.